Alright, so you've installed Zorin OS 18.1. You've got the desktop set up, the browser synced, LibreOffice handling your documents. You think you know what this operating system can do. And then someone mentions something in a forum thread or a comment section, and you think, wait, it can do that. I've been using this for 3 months and I had no idea. That moment of discovering a capability you didn't know existed is one of the most satisfying experiences of using any software. And Zorin OS 18.1 has more of those moments than almost any other Linux distribution, because it packs a lot of thoughtful functionality into places that first-time users rarely think to look. I've spent months using this daily, reading the official documentation, going through the Zorin forum, testing features that don't appear in the headline announcements, and talking to other users about the things that surprise them most. And I want to give you the 10 most useful, most genuinely surprising, most practically impactful things Zorin OS 18.1 can do that most people never discover, not obscure power user terminal tricks that require 3 hours of configuration. Things you can set up in minutes that will meaningfully improve how you use this machine every single day. Let's start with number 10 and work our way toward the one that genuinely changed how I work. Before we do, if you're new to this channel, we've been covering Zorin OS in depth across multiple videos, including a full 30-day switch experience, a detailed review of 18.1, and comparison videos with Linux Mint and Ubuntu. The links are in the description. Subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming setup guide. Now, let's get into it. Number 10. Your phone and your PC can work as one device. This is the feature that surprises almost every Windows migrant because Windows never did this well without third-party software subscriptions. It's called Zorin Connect and it comes pre-installed on Zorin OS 18.1. Install the KDE Connect app on your Android phone free from the Play Store. Open Zorin Connect on your desktop through the application menu and pair them on the same Wi-Fi network. What you get is genuinely remarkable for something that costs nothing and takes 5 minutes to set up. Phone notifications appear on your desktop in real time. When someone messages you, you see it without picking up your phone. You can reply directly from your keyboard. Files transfer wirelessly between your phone and laptop. Drag a photo from your phone to your desktop or vice versa without a cable, without cloud storage, without a subscription. You can control your laptop's media playback from your phone. Pause, skip, adjust volume. You can use your phone as a remote trackpad and keyboard when your laptop is connected to a TV. You can even send clipboard content from one device to the other. Copy something on your phone, paste it on your laptop. The phone and the computer share a clipboard seamlessly. I use Zorin Connect every single day, and it's one of the first things I set up on any new Zorin installation. Now, most people install Zorin OS and never know this exists. Now you do. Number 9. You can turn any website into a real desktop app. This one is in the official release notes for Zorin OS 18.1, but I consistently find that people who've been using the system for months haven't discovered it or used it properly. You can turn any website into a desktop app through an easily accessible interface. Your web apps will appear in the Start menu and can be used just like native applications. Here's how it works. Open the Web Apps tool from your application menu. Type in any URL, your company's project management tool, Google Workspace, Microsoft 365 Online, your bank's portal, Notion, Trello, anything that lives in a browser. Give it a name and choose an icon. Click Create. That website now appears in your application launcher exactly like a native application. Opens in its own dedicated window without browser Chrome and behaves from the user's perspective like software rather than a tab. I have 8 web apps set up including my email, my calendar, a project tool, and my bank. Each one has its own icon, opens instantly, and sits in its own workspace. The experience of clicking a web app and getting a clean, focused window rather than a browser tab surrounded by 17 other tabs is genuinely better for focus. This feature came from Chrome OS and Zorin implemented it better than most distributions. Use it. Number 8. the window tilling system is more powerful than you think. Most people who've been on Windows know basic window snapping. Drag a window to the left side of the screen and it fills half the screen. Drag another to the right and you have a split view. Zorin OS 18.1's advanced window tilling goes significantly further than that, and most users never explore past the basic snap functionality. The advanced window tilling feature introduces new options accessible from Zorin menu, Zorin appearance, then windows. These include the ability to bring all tiled windows to the foreground together when switching to a tiled app from the taskbar, reorder tilling layouts from the Edit Layouts dialog, and enhanced edge tilling, allowing you to snap windows to your active custom tilling layout instead of only screen half and quarter tilling. In plain English, you can create custom tilling layouts not just to halves, but 3-column layouts, main and sidebar configurations, specific arrangements you use regularly, and save them. Then snap windows into those custom slots with keyboard shortcuts. You can switch between a group of tiled windows together as a unit rather than individually. And edge tilling now works with your custom layouts rather than only the default half and quarter splits. I set up a 3-column layout for my writing workflow document on the left 2/3, reference material and notes on the right third, and it opens as a consistent arrangement every morning in about 15 seconds. Before this, I was manually resizing windows every time. The investment of 5 minutes configuring a custom tilling layout saves you that manual resizing every single day indefinitely. Go to Zorin Appearance, click the Windows tab, and explore what's available. It's deeper than the default experience suggests. Number 7. You can play thousands of Windows games without buying anything extra. This is the one that gets the most shocked reactions when I mention it to people who switched from Windows primarily for privacy or hardware reasons and didn't think about gaming. They assume Linux gaming means a small catalog of natively supported titles and a lot of frustration with everything else. That assumption was accurate 5 years ago. In 2026, it is completely outdated, and Zorin OS 18.1 is positioned better than ever to take advantage of what has become one of the most impressive compatibility stories in software history. Here's the situation. Steam, Valve's gaming platform, has an official Linux client that installs on Zorin OS in about 60 seconds from the software store. Once installed, you enable a setting called Steam Play in your Steam preferences, which activates Proton, Valve's compatibility layer that allows Windows games to run on Linux. Zorin OS 18.1 runs on kernel 6.17, which now supports more hardware including Intel Xe3 graphics, AMD hybrid laptop GPUs, Apple Magic Mouse to USB-C, and Asus ROG Ally and Lenovo Legion Go gaming handhelds. The broader hardware support in kernel 6.17 means more GPUs are properly recognized and more gaming peripherals work without manual configuration. I installed Steam on my Zorin OS machine, enabled Proton, and tested my library. 11 out of 14 games worked perfectly without any configuration at all. 2 worked after selecting a specific Proton version in the game's properties menu, a 30-second process. 1 didn't work due to anti-cheat. The Proton website is your best friend here. Search any game title and you'll see community-reported compatibility ratings and specific configuration tips. Most popular games are rated Gold or Platinum, meaning they work excellently. The games that still don't work are primarily those with aggressive kernel-level anti-cheat systems like Valorant and Fortnite. If those specific games are not in your library, Linux gaming in 2026 is genuinely excellent. And the fact that you can access this entire ecosystem from a fresh Zorin OS install in under 2 minutes is something that most people switching from Windows have no idea about until someone tells them. Now you know. Install Steam, enable Proton, check Proton for your library, start gaming. Number 6. You can control exactly what appears in your system tray. This sounds minor until you've been using Zorin OS for a few weeks and your system tray has accumulated a collection of application icons that you don't all need visible at once. Dropbox, a download manager, a VPN, a backup tool, Spotify, various other utilities that like to park themselves in your tray. On Windows, managing the system tray was always slightly awkward. You could hide icons, but not with granular control over size, position, and appearance of each one. Zorin OS 18.1 added a settings dialog for applications with indicator icons on the panel's system tray area, allowing you to configure the size, position, and opacity of these icons. It even supports using custom icons for your app indicators. This is a small feature in the release notes that most users gloss over. In practice, it's genuinely useful. Open Zorin Appearance, go to the Interface section, and find the tray icons and panel settings. You can toggle individual application tray icons on or off. You can set the size so they're consistent rather than whatever size each application decided it should be. You can adjust opacity for icons you want to keep available but don't need visually prominent. And you can assign custom icons to specific applications. So if some tray icon clashes visually with your theme, you can replace it with something that fits. I went through my tray icons after discovering this feature and removed 4 that I never actually used from the tray while keeping them running in the background. The result is a cleaner, less cluttered panel that shows me only what I actually reference during the day. This is the kind of control that Zorin OS offers throughout the interface, granular, accessible through the GUI, requiring no terminal commands, that demonstrates the difference between software designed by people who use it daily and software designed to check feature boxes. Number 5. Your fingerprint reader actually works. Here's how to set it up. This one has a specific history in Zorin OS that I want to address directly, because some people reading earlier reviews from late 2025 and early 2026 found conflicting information about fingerprint reader support. When Zorin OS 18.0 launched in October 2025, fingerprint reader support was inconsistent. Some hardware worked, some didn't, and the experience was frustrating enough that several reviewers specifically called it out. After reinstalling Zorin OS 18.1 on this and one other computer, the fingerprint reader was enabled and now works fine. Earlier issues appear to have been resolved. Zorin OS 18.1 added fingerprint reader support as a headline feature, particularly for the Lite edition, and the implementation has improved meaningfully from the 18.0 baseline. Here's how to set it up properly. Go to Settings, then scroll down to Users in the left panel. Click on your user account. You'll see a fingerprint section. This is new in 18.1 and won't be visible in older versions. Click Add Fingerprint. Follow the prompts to scan your finger multiple times for accuracy and save it. Once enrolled, your fingerprint will work for logging in, unlocking the screensaver, and for pseudo-authentication prompts in the terminal if you use that. A few practical notes from my own experience. Enroll the same finger at least 3 times if the interface allows multiple scans. More scan data means more reliable recognition, especially in low light or if your fingertip is slightly dry. If you have a laptop with a fingerprint reader in an unusual position, like on the power button, Zorin OS recognizes these too. Not every fingerprint reader model is supported. Very old or niche hardware may not have drivers, but the coverage in kernel 6.17 is significantly broader than in earlier kernels. If your reader doesn't work immediately after following the setup process, check the Zorin forum for your specific hardware model. The community documentation for fingerprint readers has expanded substantially since the migration wave brought millions of new users and their diverse hardware profiles into the ecosystem. For most mainstream laptop fingerprint readers purchased after 2018, this feature works reliably in 18.1.